We have just looked at 3 different examples about finding volume of spheres. Now we're looking at something slightly different. We're looking at the volume of a hemisphere. And if you remember when we did the I can statements at the end of the lesson question, we talked about a hemisphere being half of a sphere. So what you need to realize is this is almost identical to finding the volume of a regular sphere, and then we only want half of that. So remember, if we think of this word hema or hemi and associate that with a half, you should be good to go. So once again, if we use the formula for volume, which is 4/3 times pi times r cubed, and then think at the end, if I just want half of the sphere, then I just want half of that amount. Or you could think of it as dividing by 2. Maybe this makes more sense to do 4/3, 4/3 times pi times r cubed, and then divide it in half to get half of the sphere. All right, so let's try and do this example. Let me move that out of the way. So let's fill in some numbers here. They've given us the radius. That's pretty much all we need. So to find the volume, I'm going to do 4/3 times pi, which is 3.14, times 5 cubed. So I can rewrite that as 4/3 times 3.14 times 125. And then remember that whatever I get from that, I'm going to have to divide by 2. So let's figure that out real quick. Let me get out my calculator. 4 divided by 3 times 3.14 times 125, and that equals 523.3. Now remember, I only want half of that amount. I only want half of that. So I'm going to take 523.3, divide it by 2, and when I do that, I get 261.7. And don't forget our units, which are centimeters, and because it's volume, those are cubed. So the only difference between finding a sphere and a hemisphere is that when we're finding a hemisphere, we have to take our regular answer and divide it by 2. Go ahead and try the got it at the top of the next page.